Hi everyone! Our lesson for today is about quadratic equations. So the objective of this lesson are illustrate quadratic equation, write the quadratic equation in the standard form, and identify the values of A, B, and C. But before we discuss our lesson for today, let's identify the mathematical concept. So, first one is the product of polynomials. Second is the FOIL method, which is very applicable when we are multiplying binomial to a binomial. Distributive property, and last one is the addition property of equality. So here are the following mathematical concepts that we need to consider when we are multiplying quadratic equations. For you to understand the use of mathematical concept, let's find the product of the following polynomials. Number 1, we have here 3 times a plus 1. So as you can see, we have here 3 as a monomial and a plus 1 as a binomial. So what we are going to do here is to multiply monomial to each term of binomial using distributive property. So let's simplify. 3 times a is equal to 3a. 3 times 1 is equal to 3. Since we multiply both positive, so the sign is equal to positive. So the product of the given example for number 1 is 3a plus 3. Next, example number 2. We have here negative 2 times x squared plus 4. So the same process that we use for number 1, all we need to do is to multiply negative 2 to each term of binomial, which is x squared plus 4. Now, let's simplify. Negative 2 times x squared is equal to negative 2x squared. Next, negative 2 times 4 is equal to negative 8. Since we multiply negative to positive, therefore, we need to use negative sign. So, as you can see, we both use distributive property to get the given example for number 1 and number 2. Number 3, we have here a binomial to a binomial. So, since we have here a binomial to a binomial, we need to use a FOIL method. So this is the easiest way on how to identify the product of the given if we have here a binomial to binomial, or when we are multiplying binomial to a binomial. So let's simplify the given example using FOIL method. So let's start. Let's multiply x times x represents for our f, which is our first term. So x times x is equal to x squared. Next, O represent for the outer term, which is x times negative 5. So x times negative 5 is negative 5x. Next, for our I, represents for our inner term, which is 5 times x. So the answer is 5x. And L for the last term, which is 5 times negative 5. So the answer is negative 25. After we expand the given, so here is the answer, x squared minus 5x plus 5x minus 25. So, after we expand the given problem, what we are going to do next is to combine like terms. So, when we say combined like terms, ano nga bang ibig sabihin nun? So, pagsasamahin natin ang dalawang variable na magkaparehas at magkaparehas ang exponent. So, in this case, ang magkaparehas natin na variable at magkaparehas na exponent ay ang negative 5x and 5x. Yun nga lang, one of the term is negative and one of the term is positive. Since they are the same, magkaparehas lang sila, yun nga lang magkaiba yung kanilang sign. So when we combine the term negative 5x plus 5x, so we need to cancel it out. Why? Because it will become equal to 0. Kaya kailangan na natin siyang i-cancel out. Then next, since we cancel out negative 5x plus 5x, therefore, the answer or the product of the given example for number 3 is x squared minus 25. Next, number 4. We have here another binomial by a binomial. Still the same process, FOIL method. So let's simplify. X times x for the first term, it is equal to x squared. O for the outer, x times negative 3, the answer is negative 3x. Next, I for the inner term, 2 times x is equal to positive 2x. And L for the last term, which is 2 times negative 3, so the answer is negative 6. So after we expand the given example, so let's combine like terms. So when we are combining like terms, hanapin ang dalawang magkaparehas, ang variable at exponent. So on the given here, meron tayong negative 3x and positive 2x. Pareha sila ng variable at meron silang imaginary 1 na exponent dito. Parehas. Now, so let's combine like terms. What will happen dun sa hindi o walang kaparehas? Just copy. So it will become equal to x squared. Copy x squared. And then let's combine like terms, negative 3x plus 2x. Since one of the given term is negative and one of the given term is positive, imbes na i-combined, we need to subtract. So it will become negative 3 plus 2. So the answer is negative x. Since yung negative ay na kay 3, since mas malaki ang since ang negative ay nasa 3, so siya yung masusunod. Bring down 6, so just copy. So therefore, the product of the given example is x squared minus x minus 6. So that is the use. So now let's proceed. Let's discuss a quadratic equation. What is a quadratic equation? So a quadratic equation in one variable is a mathematical sentence of degree 2 that can be written in the standard form ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0, where a, b, and c are real numbers and a is not equal to 0. So, automatic yun. Hindi pwedeng maging 0 ang value ni a. To this, now, our ax squared is a quadratic term. Our bx is the linear term. And our c is a constant term or arithmetic term. Now, in addition, a, b, and c is also called a coefficients. So, normally, coefficients talaga ay nakikita beside the variable. Example. What we are going to do here is to identify if the given example is a quadratic equation or not quadratic. If not, why? Number 1, we have here 3m plus 8 equals 15. So as you can see on the given example for number 1, the only variable that we have here is m. And the exponent for m is imaginary 1. So therefore, this example is not a quadratic. Next, number 2. We have here x squared minus 5x plus 10 equals 0. So since the highest exponent or the highest degree of the given equation here is 2. So this is an example of a quadratic equation. Number 3, we have here x minus 4y equals 0. So as you can see, we have different kind of variables which are x and y. Definition natin ng quadratic equation, walang nagsasabi na ang quadratic equation is composed of two different variables. So therefore, the answer, or therefore this equation is considered as not a quadratic equation. Next, number 4. 25 minus r squared equals 4r. So in the given example, we have here the highest degree of the given equation, 2. Since the highest degree is 2, therefore this is a quadratic equation. Yun nga lang, this is not written into a standard form. But we can do that into a standard form if we arrange the given equation. Next, number 5. We have here 6 minus 2x plus 3x squared equals 0. And based on the given example, the highest degree that we have here for number 5 is 2. Since the highest degree is 2, we can say that this is a quadratic equation. The same thing kay number 4, hindi nga lang siya written into a standard form. Baligtad lang siya, but still they are the same. Next, okay, another example. Write the equation in standard form, then identify the values for a, b, and c. Number 1, we have here x squared minus 5x plus 10 equals 0. Since our equation is the same into ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0, so therefore it is in a standard form. So since the given is in a standard form, let's identify their values. So identify a, b, and c. So in the given example, the value for a is 1y1. Because on the given here, we have here only a variable. So, kapag tayo may variable, automatic, meron tayong imaginary 1 na coefficient. So, therefore, the value for A is 1. Next, the value for B is negative 5. So, kailangan natin isama yung sign. No? It's negative 5. And letter C, the value for C is positive 10. Proceed. Example number 2. So we have here 2x times x plus 4 equals 12. So as you can see, on the given example for number 2, this is not written in a standard form. So this is a quadratic equation but not written in standard form. That's why we need to arrange the given equation here. So how? By using distributive property, we need to identify or expand the product of our equation here. So, let's simplify. 2x times x is equal to 2x squared. 2x plus 4 is equal to 8x. And then, let's copy equals 12. So, after we expand the given equation, or after we simplify the given equation, we need to arrange this into a standard form. How? By equating into 0. Okay, so we need to equate the given equation here into 0. How? So, to equate the given equation into 0, we need to use addition property of equality to transpose 12 to the left side of the given equation. So, kailangan nating ilipat si 12 sa kabilang side ni equation. So, how can we do that? By using addition property of equality. So, now, let's copy the given equation. Since we're using addition property of equality, so it will become 2x squared plus 8x equals 12. So, as you can see, we have here a blank space. So, dyan natin ilalagay ang value na gagamitin natin to cancel out 12 to the right side of the equation and to put the value to the left side of the equation too. Now, so to cancel out 12, we need to put opposite sign of 12. So it will become negative 12. Since we put negative 12 to the right side of the given equation, we need to put negative 12 also to the left side of the given equation. So that is the rule of addition property of equality. Now let's simplify. So 12 minus 12 will become equal to 0. That's why it will become 2x squared plus 8x minus 12 equals to 0. So now we solve the product of the given equation. So let's identify if it is in a form of standard form. So ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. Okay, since the given is the same to a standard form, let's identify the value for a, b, and c. So the value for a is positive 2, since the coefficient of x squared is 2. The value for b is 8, since the coefficient of x is 8. And the value for c is negative 12. Now, let's proceed. Example number 3. So, we have here example number 3, 2x plus 4 times x minus 1 equals 0. We have here binomial to a, binomial or we have here binomial by a binomial. Now, this is a quadratic equation but not written in standard form. That's why we need to arrange the given equation to make this into a standard form. Now, let's simplify. How? By using a FOIL method. So, let's answer. 2x times x is equal to 2x squared. 2x times negative 1 is equal to negative 2. 4 times x is equal to 4x, and 4 times negative 1 is equal to negative 4 equals 0. So after we expand the given equation, now what we are going to do is to combined like terms. So pag sinabi natin combined like terms, pagsamahin natin ang variable na magkaparehas ang exponent. So in this case, the only term that are the same is negative 2x and 4x. What will happen dun sa hindi i-combine? So let's copy. It will become 2x squared. So let's combine negative 2x plus 4x. Since one of the term is negative and one of the term is positive, so all we need to do is to subtract. So it will become 2x minus 4 equals 0. Now the product of the given equation is 2x squared plus 2x minus 4 equals 0. Now let's identify if it is the same into a standard form. Ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. Okay. Since the product is the same, let's identify the value for a, b, and c. So the value for a is 2, since the coefficient of x squared is 2. The value for b is also 2, since the coefficient of x is 2. And the value for c is negative 4. Since the formula for standard form is ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0, what will happen when b is equal to 0? So when b is equal to 0, it will become ax squared plus 0x plus c equals 0. Since the value of b is equal to 0, what we are going to do in the formula is to cancel out 0x. So automatically, when we cancel it out, it will become ax squared plus c equals 0. This is another way of a standard form. So this is a standard form. Yun nga lang, the value for b here is equal to 0. Now, for you to easily understand this formula, I have here an example. So, x squared minus 5 is equal to 0. So, let's identify the value for a. The value for a here is 1. Since we have here x squared, so meron siyang value ng a which is 1 dahil meron siyang imaginary 1 na coefficient. The value for b here is 0 and the value for c is negative 5. Another example, 3x squared plus 7. So the value for a is negative 3. The value for b is 0 and the value for c is positive 7. Now let's continue. Example number 4. So I have here x squared minus 4 equals 0. So this is in a standard form of ax squared plus c equals 0. Now let's identify the value for a, b, and c. The value for a is 1 since the coefficient of x squared is 1. So that is imaginary. The value for b is 0 and the value for c is negative 4. Another example, number 5. 3x squared plus 1 equals 0. So it is in a standard form, ax squared plus c equals 0. And the value for a, b, and c, a is equal to negative 3 since negative 3 is the coefficient of x squared. B is equal to 0 and c is equal to 1. That ends our lesson for today. I hope you understand our lesson for today. Now it's your turn to answer the questions or the equations that you have now. So thank you for watching. If you like this video, just hit the like button, share, comment. Don't forget to subscribe and click the notification bell to notify for the next video. Hi everyone! Our lesson for today is about the nature of the roots of quadratic equation. So the objective of this lesson is characterize the roots of a quadratic equation using the discriminant. So in this lesson, the value of the expression b squared minus 4ac is called the discriminant of the quadratic equation ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. This value can be used to describe the nature of the roots of a quadratic equation. It can be 0, positive and perfect square, positive but not perfect square, or negative. So it means through the discriminant of the given expression b squared minus 4ac, madali lang nating ma-identify ang roots ng given equation. Basta lagi lang nating tatandaan ang possible values of discriminants. Yun ay ang 0, positive and perfect square, positive but not perfect square, or negative. To determine the concept of this lesson, let's identify the first nature of the root. Number 1. When b squared minus 4ac is equal to 0, then the roots are real numbers and are equal. So what does it mean? So let's try to solve the given example. Describe the roots of x squared minus 4x plus 4 equals 0. So let's try to solve the given example. The first step that we're going to do here is to identify the values of a, b, and c. Given the equation x squared minus 4x plus 4 equals 0, so let's identify the values of a, b, and c. So sabi nga natin, to find out the value of your a, b, and c, let's identify the coefficient of the given equation. A is equal to 1, which is makikita natin sa first term, x squared. B is equal to negative 4, which is na kay second term. And C is equal to 4, which is nasa last term. Now, after we identify the values of A, B, and C, so the next step that we're going to do is to substitute the values of A, B, and C in the expression B squared minus 4AC. So, anong gagawin natin dito? Gagamitin natin ang ating expression B squared minus 4AC to find out the value of the discriminant. Okay, so let's substitute the values on the given expression. So we have here b squared minus 4ac will become, so the value for b is negative 4, so that's why it will become negative 4 squared minus 4 times the value of a, which is 1, times the value of c, which is 4. So next, let's simplify. Negative 4 squared is equal to, so we all know that when we are multiplying negative times negative, the answer is positive. So negative 4 squared is equal to 16 minus 4 times 1 is equal to 4. 4 times 4 is equal to 16. That's why we have here 16 minus 16. So last, let's subtract 16 minus 16. So the answer is 0. So therefore, the discriminant of the expression b squared minus 4ac after we substitute the value of a, b, and c is equal to 0. Sabi natin, if the discriminant is equal to 0, the roots are real numbers and are equal. Ibig sabihin, ang possible na makuha nating roots sa given equation is real numbers and equal. It means parehas. Magkaparehas. So let's identify or let's check if it is true. So let's check if the roots of the given equation are real numbers and equal after we substitute the values of a, b, and c to the formula that we are going to use. So the value for a, b, and c are 1, negative 4, and 4. Okay, so this can be checked by determining the roots of x squared minus 4x plus 4 equals 0 using any of the methods in solving quadratic equation. So, meron tayong 4 method. Yun ay yung subtracting square roots, factoring, completing the square, and quadratic formula. So, at this moment, we are going to use the quadratic formula to identify the roots of the given equation. So, using the quadratic formula, let's identify the roots. Let's use first the positive sign. So, let's substitute the values of a, b, and c to the given formula. So, it will become negative times negative 4, which is the value of b, plus square root of negative 4 squared minus 4 times 1, which is the value of our a, times 4, the value of our c, over 2 times 1. Negative times negative 4, so it will become equal to positive. Sabi nga natin, when we are multiplying negative to negative, the answer is positive. So, negative times negative 4, the answer is positive 4. Then, square root of negative 4 squared. So, negative 4 squared is equal to positive 16 minus 4 times 1 is equal to 4. 4 times 4 is equal to 16 over 2 times 1. So, we have here 2. That's why we come up to 4 plus square root of 16 minus 16 over 2. Okay, next. So, it will become 4 plus 16 minus 16 is equal to 0. That's why we have here square root of 0 over 2. Now, let's simplify the numerator. So, let's add the numerator. So, square root of 0 is equal to 0. That's why we have here 4 plus 0 over 2. Okay, so next. So, 4 plus 0 is equal to 4 over 2. So, let's divide it. 4 divided by 2, the answer is equal to 2. Therefore, the first root that we get here is positive 2. Now, let's proceed. So, after we use the positive sign, let's proceed to the negative sign. So, it will become negative times negative 4 minus square root of negative 4 squared minus 4 times 1 times 4 over 2 times 1. Okay, so let's simplify. Negative times negative, of course, it is positive. So, negative times negative 4, the answer is positive 4. Copy the sign, negative, and then simplify. Negative 4 squared is equal to positive 16. 4 times 1 is equal to 4. 4 times 4 is equal to 16. So, therefore, we have here 4 minus square root of 16 minus 16 over 2 times 1 is equal to 2. So, therefore, we have here 4 minus square root of 0 over 2. Sabi nga natin, square root of 0 is equal to 0. So, therefore, we have here 4 minus 0 is equal to 2. So, 4 minus 0 is equal to 4 over 2. Therefore, the answer is equal to 2. So, it means the discriminant of the expression b squared minus 4ac is true to the given equation. Next, let's proceed. Number 2. When b squared minus 4ac is greater than 0 and a perfect square, then the roots are rational numbers and are not equal. O, ibig sabihin, ang value ng discriminant natin dito ay mas mataas kay 0. Kapag naging mas mataas kay 0 and perfect square ang value ng discriminants, so ibig sabihin, ang magiging value ng roots natin or ang value ng x natin are rational numbers at hindi magkaparehas. Example, determine the nature of the roots of x squared plus 7x plus 10 equals 0. First thing is to identify the value for a, b, and c. So the value for a is the coefficient of x squared, which is 1. The value for b, the coefficient of 7x, which is 7. The value for c is equal to 10. So after we identify the values for a, b, and c, let's proceed. Substitute the values of a, b, and c in the expression b squared minus 4ac. Okay, so given the expression b squared minus 4ac, let's substitute the values for a, b, and c. So therefore, it will become 7 squared, the value for b is 7, minus 4 times 1, which is the value for a, times 10, the value for c. So let's simplify. 7 squared is equal to 49. Minus 4 times 1 is equal to 4. 4 times 10 is equal to 40. So let's subtract 49 minus 40. So the answer is 9. So as you can see, the discriminant of the expression b squared minus 4ac is 9. Since the discriminant is 9 and 9 is greater than 0 and a perfect square, so it means ang magiging roots natin ay rational numbers pero hindi equal. Okay, so let's check. Let's substitute the value for a, b, and c. Let's use again the quadratic formula to identify the roots of the given equation. So let's substitute. It will become x is equal to negative 7. 7 for the value of b, plus square root of 7 squared minus 4 times 1, which is the value for your a, times 10, which is the value for your c, over 2 times 1. Okay, so let's simplify. Just copy negative 7. So x is equal to negative 7 plus square root of 7 squared is equal to 49 minus 4 times 1 is equal to 4. 4 times 10 is equal to 40 over 2 times 1. So the answer is 2. So let's simplify the radicand. So x is equal to negative 7 plus square root of 49 minus 40. So the answer is 9 over 2. Since 9 is perfect squared, so let's square it. So negative 7 plus the square root of 9. So square root of 9 is equal to 3 over 2. So we have here now x is equal to negative 7 plus 3 over 2. Now, let's combine the numerator. Negative 7 plus 3. Since one of the term is negative and one of the term is positive, imbis na pag-add, we need to subtract it. Dahil ang negative ay nasa mas mataas na number, okay, so therefore, magiging sign natin ay negative. So, negative 7 plus 3 is equal to negative 4 copy 2. Okay, so negative 4 divided by 2, the answer is negative 2. So the first root that we get here is negative 2. Next, let's use the negative sign. So x is equal to negative 7 minus. So first equation, we use positive. Second equation, let's use negative. So negative 7 minus square root of 7 squared minus 4 times 1 times 10 over 2 times 1. Copy negative 7 minus, simplify square root of 7 squared is equal to 49 minus 4 times 1 is equal to 4 times 10 is equal to 40 over 2 times 1 is equal to 2. So we have now negative 7 minus square root of 49 minus 40 over 2. So next, copy negative 7 minus, simplify square root of 49 minus 40. The answer is 9 copy over 2. So we have here negative 7 minus square root of 9 over 2. Okay, so let's square 9. So now we have here negative 7 minus 3 over 2. Kung mapapansin nyo, ang numerator natin ay parehong negative. So negative 7 minus 3. So since the given is like that, so imbis na i-subtract natin, let's combine it and copy the sign. So, negative 7 minus 3 will become equal to negative 10 divided by 2. So, the answer is negative 10 divided by 2. The answer is negative 5. The value of the roots of the given equation are negative 2 and negative 5. Since ang ating discriminant is 9 and 9 is greater than 0, so and also it is a perfect square, therefore the roots of the given equation are rational numbers but not equal. So as you can see, hindi parehas ang value natin ng roots. So it means the discriminant is true to the given equation. Next, let's proceed. Number 3. When b squared minus 4ac is greater than 0, but not perfect square, then the roots are irrational numbers and are not equal. So, it means magiging irrational ang number natin kapag ang value ng discriminant naman natin ay hindi perfect squared. Okay, so let's identify if it is true. Example, describe the roots of x squared plus 6x plus 3 equals 0. Identify the values for a, b, and c. So the value for a is the coefficient of x squared, which is 1. The value for B is 6. The value for C is equal to 3. Now, what we're going to do is to substitute it to the given expression b squared minus 4ac. So let's substitute the values of a, b, and c to the given expression. So it will become 6 squared. 6 is the value for b, minus 4 times 1, the value for a, and 3, the value for c. So 6 squared is equal to 36, minus 4 times 1 is equal to 4. 4 times 3 is equal to 12. So we have here 36 minus 12. So 36 minus 12 is equal to 24. So the discriminant is 24. 24 is greater than 0 but not a perfect square. So hindi siya perfect square. Now let's determine the values of the roots of the given equation. So dapat ang magiging roots ay irrational numbers and not equal. So let's check using the values of a, b, and c. Again, let's use quadratic formula for identifying the roots of the equation. Okay, now, so let's substitute. Let's use first the positive. So it will become x is equal to negative 6, which is the value for b, plus, so ginamit natin ng positive muna, square root of 6 squared minus 4 times 1 times 3 over 2 times 1. So let's copy negative 6. So x is equal to negative 6 plus, simplify 6 squared is equal to 36 minus 4 times 1 is 4 times 3, it is equal to 12. 2 times 1 is equal to 2. Okay, so we have now negative 6 plus square root of 36 minus 12 over 2. So now, let's subtract the radicand. Copy negative 6. So x is equal to negative 6 plus square root of 36 minus 12. 36 minus 12 is equal to 24. And copy the denominator, which is 2. So we have here negative 6 plus square root of 24 over 2. So what we are going to do here is to square the radicand. So we have here now negative 6 plus, so since 24 is not a perfect squared, ano yung mangyayari sa hindi natin gagalawin? Just copy. Since si 24 ay hindi perfect squared, what we're going to do here is to identify the factor of it. So 24, ano yung dalawang number na kapag pinag-multiply natin ay 24 ang lalabas. But be sure na kapag tayo ay nag-identify ng factors, one of the factor is perfect squared and one of them is not. So we have here the factor for 24 is 4 times 6. Copy 2. So we have negative 6 plus square root of 4 times 6 over 2. Okay, so since one of the given factor is perfect squared, so we can simplify that. So, copy natin yung hindi po muna natin gagalawin. So, negative 6 and 2. So, we have here negative 6 plus, so square root of 4. Since 4 is perfect squared, so we can simplify that. So, let's put that outside of the radical sign. So, it will become 2. So, negative 6 plus 2, then remain square root of 6 over 2. Since we can't add the numerator, dahil one of the term is may radical sign, what we're going to do here is to divide it na lang. Since negative 6 is divisible by 2 and 2 is divisible by 2, so let's divide it. So negative 6 divided by 2 is equal to negative 3 plus 2 divided by 2. So let's cancel it. So the answer is square root of 6. So therefore, the first root that we have here is negative 3 plus square root of 6. Next, let's use the negative sign. Substitute the values we have here. Negative 6 minus square root of 6 squared minus 4 times 1 times 3 over 2 times 1. Now, let's copy negative 6 minus square root of 6 squared is equal to 36 minus 4 times 1 is equal to 4 times 3 is equal to 12. So, over 2 times 1 is equal to 2. Now, we have here negative 6 minus square root of 36 minus 12 over 2. The next step that we need to do is to subtract 36 minus 12. Okay, so let's copy negative 6 minus square root of 36 minus 12 is equal to 24 over 2. Now, let's put the factor of 24. So, we have here negative 6 minus square root of 4 times 6 over 2. Now, copy again negative 6 minus square root of 4 since 4 is perfect squared. So, we can simplify that. So, it will become negative 6 minus 2 square root of 6 over 2. Hindi natin pwedeng ipag-subtract si negative 6 kay 2 square root of 6 dahil the first term is rational and the second term is irrational. So what we're going to do here is to divide it. Now let's find out the lowest form. Negative 6 divided by 2 is equal to negative 3 minus 2 square root of 6 divided by 2 is equal to, so let's cancel 2, it will become equal to square root of 6. So therefore, the answer is negative 3 minus square root of 6. So now, as you can see, the roots of quadratic equation x squared minus 6x plus 3 equals 0 are negative 3 plus square root of 6 and negative 3 minus square root of 6. So, therefore, the values are not equal. So, hindi sila magkaparehas. And this is an example of irrational numbers. Number 4. When b squared minus 4ac is less than 0, then the equation has no real root. So, what does it mean? Kapag ka naging less than 0, mas mababa kay 0, wala siyang magiging real roots. Okay, so let's check. Determine the nature of the roots of x squared plus 2x plus 5 equals 0. So again, first step, identify the values for a, b, and c. So the value for a is 1 for the coefficient of x squared, b for the coefficient of 2x, and c for 5. Now, after we identify the value for a, b, and c, let's substitute it to the given expression, which is b squared minus 4ac, to identify the discriminant of the given expression. So, b squared minus 4ac will become equal to 2 squared, 2 is the value of b, minus 4 times 1, which is the value for a, and 5 for the value of c. So, 2 squared is equal to 4, minus 4 times 1 is equal to 4 times 5 is equal to 20. 4 minus 20 is equal to negative 16. So, as you can see, the value of our discriminant is negative 16. And negative 16 is less than 0. Therefore, we don't have real roots for the given equation. Let's check by substituting the value for a, b, and c. So, using the quadratic formula, so let's substitute it. So, it will become negative 2 plus square root of 2 squared minus 4 times 1 times 5 over 2 times 1. Okay, so copy negative 2. So we have here negative 2 plus simplify yung ating nasa radical sign. So 2 squared is equal to 4 minus 4 times 1 times 5 is equal to 20. 2 times 1 is equal to 2. So therefore, we have here negative 2 plus the square root of 4 minus 20 over 2. Okay, so next we have here negative 2 plus. So let's subtract 4 minus 20. The answer is negative 16 over 2. So as you can see, nagkaroon tayo ng negative sa loob ng radical sign, which is hindi siya pwede. That's why we end up here. Negative 2 plus square root of negative 16 over 2. Next, let's use the negative sign. So negative 2 minus square root of 2 squared minus 4 times 1 times 5 over 2 times 1. So, let's simplify and copy negative 2 minus square root of 2 squared. So, it is equal to 4 minus 4 times 1 is equal to 4 times 5 is equal to 20 over the denominator 2 times 1 is equal to 2. So, we have here negative 2 minus square root of 4 minus 20 over 2. Now, let's subtract 4 minus 20. So, we have here negative 2 minus square root of 4 minus 20 is equal to negative 16 over 2. So, the same sa first root, nagkaroon din ng negative sign ng ating radicand. So, it means we end up the solution here. So, as you can see, for the last example, the roots of the quadratic equation x squared plus 2x plus 5 equals 0 are not real numbers. So, ibig sabihin, walang real roots ang ating equation. So, that ends our lesson for today. I hope you understand our discussion. Now, it's your turn to answer the question or equation that you have now. So, thank you for watching. If you like this video, just hit the like button, share, comment, subscribe, and click the notification bell to notify for the next lesson. Hi everyone, our lesson for today is about the sum and product of quadratic equation. So, paano nga ba natin kukunin ang sum and product ng quadratic equation? To deepen our understanding on how to solve the sum and product of quadratic equation, so let's try to solve the given example. Example: what is the sum and the product of the quadratic equation x squared plus 5x plus 4 equals 0? But before we solve the sum and the product of the quadratic equation, so ano yung una natin kailangan gawin? Since we have here the given equation, the first thing that we need to do is to find out the value for x. So, kailangan muna natin kunin ang value ni x. So, there are 4 methods that we can use to find out the value for x. So, ano-ano nga ba yung method na kailangan natin or pwede natin gamitin para makuha natin ang value ni x? So, the first method that we can use is extracting square roots. Next is factoring. Next is completing the square. And last is the quadratic formula. So, ayan yung 4 na method na pwede natin gamitin para makuha natin ang value ni x. Now, in this case, ang gagamitin natin is factoring. So, given the quadratic equation x squared plus 5x plus 4 equals 0, let's factor the given equation to find out the value for x. Let's start factoring. Ano nga ba ang madaling way para ma-factor natin or ma-identify natin ang factor ng quadratic equation? So, the first thing that we need to do is to identify the factor of the first term and the last term. So, yun lang yung gagamitin natin para makakuha ang factor ng given equation. Okay, so let's find out the factor for x squared. So that is x times x. And identify the factor for the last term. Our last term is 4. Now, what is the factor of 4 na kapag pinag-multiply natin, the answer is 4. Pero kapag pinag-add natin, ang answer ay 5. So, yun yung magiging value ng middle term. So, the only factor that we can use sa last term ay 1 and 4. So, 1 times 4 is equal to 4. And 1 plus 4 is equal to 5. Okay. Now, let's find out what is the operation that we can use here. Okay, so as you can see, meron tayong dalawang positive sign or ang operation na ginamit natin sa ating quadratic equation ay positive. So, since ang operation ay positive, therefore, the operation that we can use here sa ating factor is positive din. Okay, so let's equate this into 0. Therefore, we have here x plus 1 equals 0 and x plus 4 equals 0. So, after natin ma-equate ang given factor kay 0, so, kailangan natin kunin ang value ni x. So, paano natin makukuha ang value ni x? Ililipat natin si 1 sa kabilang side ng given equation. So, kapag nilipat natin si 1 sa kabilang side ng equation, ang ating positive ay magiging negative. So, therefore, we have here x will become equal to negative 1. So, nung nilipat natin si 1 sa kabilang side ng equation, siya ay naging negative 1. Next, x plus 4 equals 0. Let's identify the value. Ililipat ulit natin si 4 sa kabilang side ng equation. So, siya ay magiging, so, positive will become equal to negative. Therefore, the value for x here is negative 1 and negative 4. Okay, so since may value na tayo ni x, so, madali na nating makukuha ang sum and product ng quadratic equation. Okay, so let's solve the sum and the product of the quadratic equation. So, let's proceed first for the sum of the roots. From the word sum means positive. So, ibig sabihin, kailangan nating ipag-add sum. Pagsamahin natin or i-add natin. Okay, the formula that we can use for the sum of the roots is x sub 1 plus x sub 2. Okay, so what is the value for x sub 1? We have here negative 1 and the value for x sub 2 is negative 4. Now, what we're going to do is to substitute the value. So, substitute lang natin, it will become equal to negative 1 plus negative 4. So, as you can see, the operation that we're using here is positive. Since beside the positive sign, there is a negative, so kailangan muna nating i-simplify ang positive and negative sign before we proceed solving the sum of the roots. Positive times negative, it will become negative. That's why it will become negative 1 minus 4. Okay, so, next, since pareho tayo or pareho ang lumabas na sign, so meron tayo negative 1 minus 4, what we're going to do here is to combine. Pagsamahin natin ang value and remain the sign. So, it will become negative 5. The sum of the roots of quadratic equation x squared plus 5x plus 4 equals 0 is negative 5. Now, let's proceed. Identify the product of the quadratic equation. From the word product means we need to multiply. So, the formula that we can use to identify the product of the roots is x sub 1 times x sub 2. Okay, substitute the value. Negative 1 times negative 4. So, sabi natin, when we are multiplying negative to negative, the answer will become equal to positive. So negative 1 times negative 4, it will become equal to positive 4. Therefore, the sum and the product of the roots of the quadratic equation x squared plus 5x plus 4 equals 0 are negative 5 and positive 4. There is an easiest way in solving the value of sum and product of a quadratic equation. Using the given equation, x squared plus 5x plus 4 equals 0, here are the easiest formula. So for the sum of the roots, we have here negative b over a. That is the formula that we need to use to find out the sum of the roots. So what do you think is the sum of the roots when we use the formula negative b over a? So based sa ating discussion about quadratic equation, a, b, and c is the coefficient of each term in a quadratic equation. Okay, so let's substitute the values. So we have here x sub 1 plus x sub 2 is equal to, copy negative sign and put the value for b. So ang value natin ng b ay 5. That's why it will become negative 5 over the value for a is equal to 1, which is makikita natin kay x squared. So let's divide it. Negative 5 divided by positive, the answer is negative 5. So negative 5 divided by 1 is equal to negative 5. So therefore, the sum of the roots of the quadratic equation is equal to negative 5. Next, product of the roots. So the formula that we can use for the product of the roots is c over a. Now let's solve the product of the roots. Substitute the value for c and a. So we have here x sub 1 times x sub 2 equals 4, which is the last term, and 1, which is the first term. So 4 divided by 1, the answer is equal to 4. Therefore, the sum of the roots and the product of the roots of the quadratic equation x squared plus 5x plus 4 equals 0 are negative 5 and positive 4. So kung mapapansin nyo sa ating unang solution, the value for the sum of the roots sa ating unang solution is negative 5 and the product of the roots is positive 4. So as you can see, parehas ng lumabas na value ng sum and product of the roots. So it means, pwede natin gamitin alinman sa given formula para mas ma-identify natin or mas madali nating ma-solve ang sum and product ng quadratic equation. Another example. X squared minus 4x plus 4 equals 0. Now, let's find the sum of the roots of the quadratic equation. So, let's substitute the value for b and a. So, x sub 1 plus x sub 2 equals, copy negative sign, and substitute the value for b. So, the value for b is negative 4. So, let's put negative 4 over the value for a equals 1. Let's simplify first the numerator. Negative times negative 4. So, it is equal to 4 over 1. Now, let's divide 4 divided by 1. So, the answer is 4. Next, let's find out the product of the roots. So, c over a, substitute the value. C is equal to 4 and a is equal to 1. So, let's divide it. 4 divided by 1, the answer is 4. So, therefore, the sum and the product of the roots of the quadratic equation x squared plus 4x plus 4 equals 0 is 4. Another example. There are some cases na given ang value ng roots, what we're going to do is to identify the quadratic equation. Okay, so let's try to solve the given example. Given the roots 3 and negative 2, write the quadratic equation. Okay, so sabi natin, since 3 and negative 2 are the roots of a quadratic equation, so we can say that x is equal to 3 and x is equal to negative 2. Okay, so anong gagawin natin dito? Isosolve natin siya ng pabalik. para ma-identify ang quadratic equation. So, using APE, we need to equate this into 0. Si 3, ililipat natin sa left side ng equation. So, it will become negative 3 dapat. So, using APE, it will become x minus 3 equals 3 minus 3. So, nag-add tayo ng negative 3 both side of the given equation para ma-cancel out si 3 at maging 0. So, let's subtract 3 minus 3. So, it will become x minus 3 equals 0. Next, equate x equals negative 2 into 0. So, negative 2, kailangan nating ilipat sa left side ng given equation at si negative 2 ay gawing 0. Using APE, let's put positive 2 both side of the given equation. So, it will become x plus 2 equals negative 2 plus 2. Okay, so let's subtract negative 2 plus 2. So, the answer is x plus 2 equals 0. After we found out the factor, what we're going to do is to use the FOIL method. So, we have here now x minus 3 times x plus 2 equals 0. So, let's use FOIL method. X times x for the first term is equal to x squared. X times 2 for the outer term, x times 2 for the outer term, the answer is positive 2x. Next, I for the inner term, negative 3 times x is equal to negative 3x. And negative 3 times 2, the answer is negative 6 equals 0. So, after we expand the factors, what we're going to do is to combine like terms. Pagsamahin natin ang magkaparehas ang variable at magkaparehas ang exponent. So, ang magkaparehas lang natin dito ay si 2x and 3x. So, anong gagawin natin sa hindi magagalaw? Just copy. So, x squared, simplify 2x minus 3x. So, 2x minus 3x, the answer is negative x. Copy negative 6 equals 0. So, therefore, the quadratic equation of the roots 3 and negative 2 is x squared minus x minus 6 equals 0. So, that ends our lesson for today. I hope you understand our discussion. Now, it's your turn to answer the given equation that you have. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, just hit the like button, share, comment, subscribe, and click the notification bell to notify for the next lesson.